You know what we do. You know how we do it. We're back again. I tried getting into my live stream here on my phone. It didn't work. Let me try here. Podcast live article. It's circling. Okay, there now. I never got in on the last live. It actually doesn't even show I have a live stream. It might. Oh, I think it's still uploading. I don't know. I just did a live stream on Japan. Quickly came live again because I'm the boss. And holy smokes, my live stream's not there. I wonder if Japan is trying to cover up all the genius stuff I said about them. Nothing was bad. It's just like clearly there's something going on in Japan. As if America put an atomic bomb on Japan, on Hiroshima. I think right then and there something happened. I think something happened extraterrestrially to end that war. Well, I guess we'll never know because because they got JFK, right? He was going to tell us all about what was going on. But then we weren't able to hear because they got him, right? It sucks, you know. It sucks knowing that somebody good was taken out. You know, it really does. It actually hurts my heart so bad. My heart aches. That makes my heart just absolutely ache. I'm not scared either. I'm not scared of. I would love to be greeted by one of them, one of those scumbags that took out JFK. The problem with those pussies is they'll never admit it. They poison you or shoot you with a silencer in the dark alley before you ever had a chance. So we have to get rid of Secret Service. You can see, you can literally see that Secret Service is the reason that JFK was killed, right? And Secret Service is the ones that snuff anything that any public figure who speaks on behalf of the public, they snuff them, right? It doesn't matter what country you're in. Look at Russia, KGB, they'll snuff you, right? You look at India, they have Secret Service there, they're allowed to kill you. I can read it to you. I can literally read to you. There are Middle East Secret Service companies allowed to kill you. They're called contractors. They're consultants and contractors paid by governments around the world, and they can travel freely. It's fucked up. We think we're safe. The public, the private sector controls Secret Service, which controls the media, which controls the hospitals, which controls the government, and controls the churches too. Maybe not all the churches, but they definitely have their grip in the churches. Think about what I just said. Think about the evil that comes out of everything that I just said, and we allow it. Why? Because you focus on your TV set. Because you think that the best way for a politician to give you what you think the best thing is that a politician can do for you is give you a tax break. Our world is literally being like crushed entirely. All the good things in this world are being seeped out the bottom, and we're left with this compressed, archaic, evil, iron fist reign of society with no free speech, no free will, not allowed to travel, too expensive to travel. Do you have 90 vaccines? You know, by next year you're gonna have to have like a list of booster shots that you have to have in order to go traveling. And again, like, who is allowing all these? These are experimental. When they haven't been tested for 20 years, it's called an experimental drug of any type. And the blind studies or the massive study groups, they aren't even real. There's a company in London that's come forward and said all the studies that were done were manipulated and falsified. But the UK government has decided not to let the North American people hear that. You guys, wake up. So many people around the world right now don't even know, like, you vote and you have no clue what the person in the electoral power has done before or is about to do. Like, you have no clue what they do daily. You voting people in power, you're giving away your rights. When you vote someone into power, we should be running for office so we know what's going on. Think of it like this. Think of life as a condo board. And if you're not on the condo board, you're being left in the dust and you have no say. Period. It's not that you should be voting, it's that you should be running for political office to make change. This is where it starts. And when you get there, if you see people in the building that are hindering the success of people's ability to heal with healthcare, people's ability to live with lower taxes and higher taxes for those that can afford to pay it, and are profiting highly off of people in general, should pay higher taxes. It's a simple ideology that has failed here in Canada. The biggest tax breaks go to the biggest and richest companies in the world. The buyouts and the handouts go to the richest, biggest companies in the world. And this has to change. All the people in government in Canada will be thrown out of office. I can assure you, within the next 5 to 10 years, people in government in Canada will be in jail cells for their actions today, yesterday, and tomorrow. You have to make changes to better Canada right now. I'm 41 years old and I see a lot of problems in Canada in this, what was used to be. Hopefully, one time, this place was a free world. I don't see it ever being a free world for years to come. Revolutions must go on in order to make changes and jail the highest tentacle scum. The cabal have entered every area of political office, of what do you call it when you're a police officer? So you're trying to uphold the army, the police have all been people have gone and slithered into these areas that are pure evil. We have to pull these people out, put them in cages right away. Anyone who is doing illegal, this is hard to explain, but this is happening. In Canada, there is a plan in healthcare to formulate a new way of thinking of healthcare, and we're missing it. And it came to me today. I have it worked out. It's very complex because they made this very difficult from the beginning. There wasn't like a foundation to how any of this worked. The problem is, I figured out the entirety of it, and I can explain it to you in less than 50 seconds right now. I am not allowed to go into a cafeteria where people are eating in a mall. Okay? I don't have a vax card. Okay? I'm not getting one. I feel segregation is ruining society, and I will not stand for it. Segregation happened in Canada against Black people and the First Nations people, and probably a lot of other races. I know in Vancouver, BC, the Asian community was treated horribly. Ukrainians were treated horribly in Canada 100 years ago. Um, it happens, okay? But it doesn't mean that we should allow it. And that doesn't mean that we stand for it. I am not sick. You, if you're vaccinated, you can get sick just like I can. So it means that you gotta stop saying the vaccine. You took a flu shot that didn't get you any more than 4 months of light protection, but you can still it's still transmissible, which means that having any sort of segregation is idiotic. And at the highest level of healthcare, they would tell you this. It isn't working because it's not able to change anything. It didn't vaccinate you and make you 100% non-transmissible. So it's not a vaccine. So you have to stop wording it like that, because that's part of the wording problem. If you were healed and it was successful, then you could never catch it again. But the problem is if you're going to talk about these different names, you have to name it. Whatever it was when it first came out, they created a vaccine for that. If it mutated, it means it's no longer, it wouldn't fix the new mutation. So then you're looking at, is anyone safe from it? And the answer is no. This is why there are cases all over the country of whatever is going on. Now, I want to ask you, where are the bodies? Okay. So if the bodies aren't there, and yes, it is still highly contagious, isn't it just like a cold or flu then? Isn't a cold highly contagious? I grew up in school system, and in the 80s and 90s, if you were sick, you stayed home from school. If you had a runny nose, if you had a cough, a sore throat, a high fever, you stayed home from school. Well, for like the last 15 years, that kind of went even longer actually. I used to go to school, like I had no choice. My mom would make me go to school. Um, and there was nobody at home, so probably that's probably why. I don't really know why. But I would have to go to school and I would have to lay my head down on the desk and sleep because I had a high fever and this and that. Do you think that mentality changed? Do you think there's not parents out there that are sending their kids to school completely sick as dogs? So, my question to you is, if your children are going to school sick as dogs, right, with obviously whatever this new type of airborne transmissible cold and flu, right? This is how you catch a cold and flu is through the air, right? You cough, cover your mouth. So now look at it. People are getting this, right? Why didn't we do this all those years ago when people die from the cold and the flu? Every year old people die from the cold and flu every year. Mostly from dehydration if you look it up. When their body gets run down and they get dehydrated and then they get this then it turns into not wanting to eat. It's a cycle. It's a full thing. You have to like pull yourself out of it slowly. It takes like 30 minutes to 4 hours, and you can kind of come out of it really quickly. But there's steps to take, right? Hot bath, cold water, hot fluids, little bites to eat, and then on your second, third, and fourth hour, have a little bit more bites to eat. But herein lies the problem. Back to the cafeteria thing. So there's a square place where someone checks to see if you're fucking got this passport, just like Germany did to the Jewish people all those years ago. Now to travel places, you have to have papers. I am sickened that the Canadian public has not risen up and stood by my side. No one, like I know a lot of people, no one's like, oh, like we should go and we should protest, right? We should like stand outside. We'll stand by you. Even though we're vaxxed, we'll stand by you. But you're scared. You're full of shame, and you're cowards because you don't stand by someone who's willing to do the right thing. You don't have to shout. You don't have to shout. I'll show my face. You can keep your face covered, but I'll speak. The problem is that the people that do these news stories, that put out these news stories, what they're doing is they're killing their children. They're enslaving their children. So I see a bunch of mothers on the evening news all over Canada with young children, and I can see you're torn. I can see into people's eyes, and I've been watching very closely, and I've been checking to see who's good. Some of their feeds are full of love and things like that, and some of the other ones are so pretentious and stuck up, and you just show your diamond rings and your big fancy car and your mansion and your pool in your backyard. You're goofs. You're the elite scum that I knew you were. But there are some people who value family, and you're trapped. You grew up with this elite scum, rich as can be family friend, and now they got you a job at the news station. You've been friends for 30 years, but now the truth has come out with the whispers you used to hear about that family. Now the truth is right there in front of you. Now that family is in everything. I gotta sort of carefully watch. I'm not scared, but I'm very smart, and I know you scum watch me very closely, and you target me in certain ways, and you think you can target me. It doesn't work like that. I fear nothing, not to mention, my family will catch you, and when they do, I will look you in the eye personally, and I promise you, the Secret Service that is in my family, you should tread lightly, and the friends they've made over the last, let's say, countless decades, you should tread even more lightly. You know not who I am, and the Secret Service are good people, some of them, they killed JFK, right? So there's a battle even at the Secret Service level. And believe you me when I say I want those evil scum suckers in every building. You know, try me. Let's see who's tougher. I'll tell you right now, the Jedi Secret Service that I know, you I fear nothing. Come at me, bro. One thing you have to know is the people who are evil are very uneducated. You'll never find the highest level of person, intellectually speaking. He'll always be a good person. She'll always be a good person. Evil, you know, you might be rich, you might have old money, you might have you dug your claws into some ABC group and you're vice president of some corporation that's, it's an umbrella corp for a CIA, ABC, whatever you want to call it, group. Um, there are people right now watching the highest levels of people, specifically your bank accounts, specifically your crypto, specifically your online transactions, and specifically all your online activity. So, um, right now, it's become even easier than ever to track someone because you don't have to have 10 vehicles following them everywhere. You literally just have to follow their cell phone or their car, right? Most people are lazy, don't leave their house, and if they do, they take their cell phone, and if they do leave their house, they take their car. So tracking someone is not the problem. Listening and hearing them is not the problem. The only problem now is waiting. The waiting game of you to climb the tree high enough for you to expose yourself and then be hopefully not put in a cage. There are other alternatives. Oh, you could get JFK'd. And that. And here's the thing. There are mechanics who make it look like an accident, right? So the Secret Service work in many ways all over the world, and often they don't shoot someone, right? Like I told you, the KGB, they tried poisoning a guy with the smoke. They gave him a muffin. They could have a woman shake his hand. In Korea, you don't know this, but there was an Asian lady. She had a strip on her hand, and she put a strip across her lips, a spy, and she kissed someone and got them very, very, she poisoned them, right? And then she took the strip off. But the problem was, when she took it off, she poisoned herself too. So, look, if you think that you're perfect in your evil ways when you're in Secret Service, the most evil people that think they're proper or Secret Service, karma will get you, okay? Uh, Karma is real, and she works in such a way that is mysterious to some, and to me, I call it, what do you call it? It's karma, right? Like it's bound to happen to you. I forget. I was just slipped my mind. It's not karma. It's like you call it your just dessert. There's another term for it besides saying just dessert, but like you deserve it, right? You're deserving of your fate. You made your bed, you lie in it. If you made your bed full of evil sheets, you're gonna sleep with evil, bud. So think about these things because I'll tell you right now here in Winnipeg, I can't enter the little cafeteria area to eat my dinner if I buy lunch at the mall. But those people can still give all these viruses and variants to each other, and they're supposedly immune. But that's the problem, is that it's not a vaccine. You're not immune. They're calling it a vaccine, but everyone is still catching this. So you're idiots. You're idiots for accepting the terminology of a vaccine after the fact that we're on our sixth wave. You're idiots. You're idiots for believing that this works, right? If it works, why are our hospitals so full of people right now? So here I am. I'm the one that's not allowed to sit in that fucking cafeteria, but I'm the one that's not sick. I'm the one that isn't spreading it. I didn't go on vacation, but I'm the one that's being hindered. And I've followed all the general rules to keeping everyone in Canada safe. But I'm the one that's hindered. So the hypocrisy is, until it happens to you, because you don't have any empathy you're shallow. Number one, and first and foremost, you're a shallow human being that only cares about yourself, not the betterment of humanity here in Canada, period. You're shallow. You got the vax so you could travel. You got the booster so you could travel. You getting it? Are you catching this here? I stayed at home so everyone was safe, right? I went out, got my groceries, and came home. I didn't go to a Jets game, so I kept people safe. I didn't want to spread this, so I didn't go to the Blue Bomber game. I didn't go to a concert because I didn't want to spread this. I didn't go on vacation because I didn't want to spread this to people in the airport or on the airplane. I didn't want to spread this, so I'd make sure that I have a small bubble. Are you catching this? I'm trying my hardest to protect all people, not just Canadians, but people who come here for their essential services around the world. Life still has to go on. I will not be hindered in my world, my life on this planet because you think you're safer because, you know, I have to get vaxxed to make you feel safer. If it was a vaccine, I would have got it. Period. But good fucking thing I didn't because I didn't want that experimental drug in me all those years ago when it was offered first time. Because it doesn't protect me because everyone is still getting this new variant. So what the fuck did you put in your body is what I ask you. And why have you not gotten mad yet? Why have you not put the people in jail that swore this was a vaccine? Why have you not put the people in jail that sold this to your country and completely indebted your country for decades? Increased your taxes, made sure your children can't get a home, made sure that your children will never get proper health care for decades to come because of what they've created. This is your fault. Anyone who went and got it that thinks that you are completely immune now, this is your fault. Where we are right now is your fault. Right now around the world, people believe that they're immune. So what has happened is you have gone out and spread it communicably to everybody around you, your loved ones, your friends and family. It's your fault. Your bubble was never kept small. It's your fault. You went traveling during a pandemic. It's your fault. You went to a super spreader event. You went to the Super Bowl. You went to a Jets game. You went to the Blue Bomber game. It's your fault. Think about it. 14 days, had we all stayed home, the world would have been nullified of this because it can't spread if it dies off. Again, most of you pea-brained and too simple to understand this, but that's how it works. As quickly as it came, as quickly as it left. Look up history. Look up ancient times. Oh no, you only read books on white men that profit for your profit and your personal gain? You only research books that give you better education. What does your education get you? But greed-driven money, blood money. Remember that. You're profiting for the purpose of money. I profit off the purpose of knowledge, wisdom. There's a huge difference between me and you. I care. I am empathetic, and I am here to stay as an empath, to teach others how to be empathetic, to get back off of that greed-driven train that you've been motoring down for decades, thinking that you're helping society. You're not. Wake up and realize that the people in power have created a guise and a smoke screen, a smoke cloud so powerful that you have believed all their lies for this entirety, however old you are. Name your age and say you've believed their lies this whole time. Remember that. Subversion is real. Most of you are fake. Hashman out.